What up? What it do? It's your boy JDQ with the crew of Visioneyeview. Alright, on the one end, I got my main man co-host Kiko on the side over here. Alright.
What's up, man? It's your boy Carl Canal.
Alright. I like it. I bet I like it.
Sorry.
Okay. That was okay, that was unprecedented, but I'll take it. And of course, as always on the ones and twos, alright, that boy from Third Born Media, alright, Jay the producer.
What's going on, everybody? What's going on?
Give it up.
Yeah. Alright, so tonight we have an amazing and very important show to do. Alright, all jokes aside. Okay, we're gonna try to get moving forward. Fellas, let me ask you this. What would you do if your phone, your computers, your tablets, your car, all that just suddenly out of nowhere, like a freak of nature, stopped functioning? Like just immediately, just boom, it just stopped. What do you do?
That's never gonna happen, so I don't know what you're talking like that for.
Listen, man. I mean, before I continue, Jay, what do you got to say about that? What would you do if all hell breaks loose and all your electronic equipment just boom, shuts off on you?
Man, I'd probably hit the gym.
I'd be having a lot of sex afterwards, having a lot of kids. That's my plans.
Hit the gym and sleep.
Okay. But the reason why I'm saying this is because you could be driving on the highway.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? You're doing your thing, you listen to music, right? And then out of nowhere, boom, the car just suddenly shuts off.
How's that possible, Tom?
Listen, man, we're about to find out today. We're going to learn today. That's what's going to happen right now.
The car runs on a battery.
It does. But it has, how do you call it? Electric circuits or whatever?
This is ridiculous.
Yeah, man. That's what I'm saying, though. Okay. So what's going to happen is, potentially, all right, God forbid, but it might happen, is an EMP attack. Okay? Now, you might be asking yourself, JDQ, what the hell is an EMP attack? All right? Well, we got it on the full screen for you. For those of you wondering, or for those of you who have not heard these three letters put together in such way. All right? There's a beautiful article written by Erica right here. All right? And just long story short, it's an attack or a burst of electromagnetic energy. Can you say energy with me?
Energy?
Or as Dr. Evil would say, energy.
Energy.
Okay? Now, I've been looking at this for a few weeks now. Okay? And my brother, who, let's just say he's got some interesting intel, okay, and information. He has somewhat been trying to prepare myself and the family for what's to come.
Who's this?
Oh, my brother?
Your brother?
Yes, sir.
Oh, my brother.
Yes, sir. No, he's got some beautiful information that he has not shared with me, at least not in detail, but he has let me know little by little, hey man, y'all better stock up on food, y'all better stock up on batteries, y'all better stock up on supplies, etc. And one of the reasons he's been telling us to do so is because of this right here. Yeah. You know, I don't know if Jay wants to expand on the article there, but you know,
it's an electromagnetic pulse,
mm-hmm.
a short burst of electromagnetic energy.
Mm-hmm.
What is nuclear electromagnetic pulse? It's a lot of
mumbo jumbo, but at the end of the day, the thing to take away from this is that, again, doesn't matter if your electronics have been plugged in and charged all the way. It doesn't matter if, you know, you have it had charged it the night before and it's at 95%. Once an EMP attack occurs, that is shut off. It's dead.
So I'm trying to understand what are they gonna hit?
What are they gonna hit?
The wires. They all fried to death.
You know, like what's the target? You know, like are they just gonna hit the main? Because I mean, that EMP can't take everything down.
Well, let me ask
Is it
you
like a
this.
flash?
Let me ask you this, Jay and Kiko. What is the only way? You, sir, that have played many of video games throughout your lifetime. Okay,
Yeah.
there's two ways. There's two ways to restart a console. Correct?
That's
You have
true.
you have on the one hand the power button where you switch it on and off, right?
Right.
And then you have what?
The reset button.
The reset button. The reset button.
Okay.
What's about to happen?
The reset.
The what?
The Great Reset.
The Great Reset. Thank you very much.
The Day of Jubilee.
I don't know about that, but it's again. I'm not an expert. None of us are experts. I'm not pretending to be an expert on this topic.
Hey man, we won't be paying no more debt though.
That's true.
It's
That's
start all over.
partially true.
I'm pretty sure they're gonna keep that.
Nah, I don't think so. You can even make me get up. Go to
They're gonna keep that.
I'm about to be debt free
Listen,
in 2
man.
months.
Listen, they're gonna keep that because
Yes.
there ain't no way in hell they're
Yes.
just gonna let everybody on the planet
Yes.
get away with,
Yep.
you know,
There you go.
just not paying the bills.
Yep.
It's
That's
not
true.
gonna happen.
That's very true. That's very true.
What?
That what he said is true. They're not going to reset just to give everybody like some random freedom.
Yeah.
There has to be something that they can hold on to
Oh,
us
new
with.
enslavement format, huh? Coming
Yeah.
down the path.
Yeah.
Now, again, not to sound like a broken record, nothing like that. No, we're not experts on this.
I am.
But it's, again, a crazy coincidence. It's a crazy coincidence that, the Great Reset has been talked of for the last, 2 some years, maybe a little more,
Longer than that.
right? And here we are, okay, where it's surfacing that this might be something that could potentially happen.
But that's only because every time Russia comes to the world stage trying to manpower up, people get scared of Russia.
Right.
They got the arm and chisel,
Mm-hmm.
so and they rush to what they do.
I'm gonna just tell you right now. I don't believe an EMP is coming.
Okay, that's good. That's good. I mean, that's a different perspective.
I don't believe it, but what I do believe is that our electrical grid is about to get wrecked.
Okay.
Why? Because they've been telling us.
There you go. That I was just about to bring that up, but go ahead, Carvel.
They've been telling us for years.
Huh?
For years. What was it? What's the guy? Newt Gingrich? He said something about it years ago.
Right. That the grid has been weak.
It's been weak for years.
And what? Purposely weak.
Yeah, purposely left.
Okay.
Vulnerable.
That's the word. Left vulnerable on purpose. Kiko, why would they leave something like that? Something so important, okay, to the country, so vulnerable on purpose. Stated by not only that man, but by the government itself. They've even stated it a few years back as well. Why do you think they would do that?
So, life is a test, right? It's like a game board, chess game. So you make decisions left or right.
Mm-hmm.
It can lead to your demise depending on what choice of what path you take. But anyway,
Yeah.
I think
I know the who you just said there.
what I'm trying to say that there's billions of people in this world. What makes you think it only takes one person to destroy all things? Adam and Eve. It only takes one person to change everything.
Not one person.
It takes one person.
I think it takes a cabal.
One
For sure.
Yeah, it could take 12 disciples of man to change. At the end of the day, all it takes is one.
All right, so this is my perspective, okay? And I respect, what Jay said that
I don't.
I
think it's a crock of shit.
he said he believed in the grid attack, but not the EMP, the actual EMP attack.
I just don't think nowadays. Do you think people want to go back to the past?
Well, no. The reason behind my thinking is because they want enslavement.
Right.
They don't want to reset us. They'll reset all these major corporations and rich people and people with influence. They don't want to reset people like you and me.
So hold up. See, this is where it might get a little spicy. It might get a little picante in the room. So you might want to take off your jacket right now. So hold up, brother man. You telling me that the same people, okay, that we consider the powers that be,
Yeah.
behind the scenes, are going to reset themselves? Because when you say corporations and big rich people and all that, you do understand that they're also part of that cabal, correct?
Yeah.
Okay, so you think they would be resetting themselves up?
Yeah.
Kiko, what do you think about that?
They're giving themselves.
They got their own land. They got their own Walmart.
They're giving themselves a reset.
Right now,
Okay,
you got
but-
Amazon. I'm pretty sure Amazon, like these people, like who are, let's say, the little circle of them. I'm sure they got their own productivity circle. Whereas we just keep it the flow going. But like
wouldn't
when you
that-
look at Queen of England,
Right.
we don't eat the same food.
Right. True.
Yeah.
You know?
She eats babies.
That's true. We haven't seen this. We can't confirm it.
Allegedly.
That's the word. Allegedly. Supposedly.
But you know, like they don't live in the secular and in the sectors that
Right.
we live in.
Right.
So
But wouldn't that be weakening their own system if they did that?
I don't know, man, because when you go, let's say Claremont, there's a section in
Oh,
Claremont
I love Claremont. I
that
haven't
you
been there.
cannot enter. And it's where Oprah Winfrey and all them live.
Ooh.
And if you get near it,
Oprah
a bunch
Winfrey.
of police officers come rushing you.
Really?
Yeah.
I'm about
So
to go
again,
storm that place
And it's
tonight.
kind of like
nigga.
Pinnacle Valley. Like you don't know how. Like, there's areas in the world you can't enter.
That's true. Like Antarctica. That's another story for another show, but we'll talk about that some other time. But yeah, there's a bunch of places in the world you can't enter or you just get shot. But anyways, I digress.
And another thing is the civilian sector is in danger compared to the military sector.
Very true.
They eat first.
That's true. That's very true.
They'll confiscate. They'll ransack your house if it had to be.
Yeah, if it came to that, yeah, you're right. That's something I honestly haven't thought about.
And you got to think like police officers who apprehended Jesus Christ.
Mm-hmm.
A bunch of Roman police soldiers.
Go ahead and tell them.
So that's why police will never be, people can think they're, good guys, but there's a lot of corruptness going on.
Oh yeah.
And you never trust people in the world of corruptness.
Oh yeah. Is that
So
what
it's hard to trust people.
Is this an image of an EMP? Because that shit looks like a nuclear bomb.
Yeah, no. I have never seen one myself, so I can't tell you what it looked like. However, I think it might be a little bit more harder to see than that. I think it might be like more disguised.
So what is it? They're thinking precautions.
Mm-hmm.
How are they going to protect against EMP?
Mm-hmm. Oh, there's a whole. If that's the same tab I have open over here, which it is, there's things you could use, man.
Yeah.
I was looking up on Amazon and all these other like online stores, a Fariat cage or whatever it's called, right? It's made out of what? Aluminum foil, baby.
What?
Yeah, the Fariat cage or whatever it's called.
What was that?
Listen, you can make your own or you can buy some online. Okay, I'm gonna say right now.
So hold up a second, man.
Go ahead.
Aluminum foil.
I kid you not. I kid you not.
So
I kid you not.
aluminum foil is going to protect against EMP.
For personal devices in homes only.
Yeah.
There's not enough aluminum foil to protect the whole entire land.
What are the odds
Mm-hmm.
that you're gonna have
Go ahead.
the shit you need
Right?
in the aluminum foil
Exactly.
when the shit hits the fan?
That's the thing, man. That's the thing. Is we don't know. It's kind of like the coming of Jesus. Oh man, I don't mean to preach now. I don't mean to preach, but it's kind of like a thief in the night. All right, it's the same thing. So we don't know when it's gonna happen. That's the scary part. There's ways around it, and there's ways to protect against it, but we don't. Since we don't know when it's gonna happen, that's the dangerous part right there.
When nothing.
Yeah, and that's the scary part. It can happen right now while we're recording this right now.
It'll eventually happen.
But it's better than to be safe than sorry.
So what?
I'll be honest with you, you can't prepare for death. I don't even bother with all that stuff. Like all that stocking up food and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like there's a way.
I'm gonna tell you right now.
There's always going to be a way.
Don't you be knocking on my door talking about let me get
Nigga, I'm coming through first. I'll be right there with the barbecue. You know?
Well, hold on. Not to cut you off, but I think you were gonna say something right before that.
Yeah, man. So what's the real danger?
The real danger?
You got no internet. Can't call each other. I don't know how to get to your job anymore. I don't know directions.
Yeah,
that's true.
I remember when I used to work for Brinks Security. We used to have a big map book, and that's how I used to travel with the map book.
Nice.
And then the maps came out, and I was happy, like, yeah, man, this makes it easier because I can't read maps. You talking about like the GPS? Yeah, man, I can't read maps for nothing, man. I'm the worst human being when it comes. But you know what's crazy? I can read the stars.
Ooh, that's the.
I was telling Dad, like, yo, you see those stars up there? I see the stars every night above our heads.
Like that.
And whenever I'm over here, I see them over here. Like if I were to go outside right now, I could determine stars. You know, and I said if I were to just follow the stars, I find my way home, like in the night. But as far as
maps,
like maps, man,
that's a big point right there, man.
Weird,
the world world depends way too much on internet connection to do so many things, especially.
I don't know nobody's phone number.
Let's start off with that.
It's not gonna matter because it's only gonna work.
Exactly.
So
exactly.
Again, that's why I'm saying an EMP is not gonna happen. An EMP would literally destroy the world.
It depends for how long they do it, though. Because if they do it,
shoot an EMP and then turn it off.
That's the thing, though. In my belief, I'm not an expert. Okay, none of us are. So,
look, man, the last thing you want is pandemonium all over the earth.
Yeah. Well, I mean, but you do want that because you want people to be like, we're lost. This is insane. Who's gonna help us? Who's gonna save us? And guess what? The government. They're gonna be like, oh, guess what? We actually have this backup plan just in case this happens, and we have everything you need.
No, I think
come to us.
That's too big of a chaos.
You don't think it's just about right?
First off,
they're about controlled chaos.
First off, if
they
you
don't
don't
want
live
real chaos.
I mean,
who wants to live on the basic rules and basic lifestyle? Like everybody gets a toothbrush, a toothpaste, a pair of drawers. I ain't trying to live like that.
Well, we're not, but it might get to that.
Well, just throw me, get me out of here.
And what Jay's saying is true. You know, they don't want extreme pandemonium to where they can't control it, but they do want us to come to them. You know, and what's gonna force us to come to them to the point and level to where like we got no choice. There's no one else here to like actually help us with this. You know?
I don't think so.
You know how many?
I think if the power goes out, those in power got a big problem.
Yep. And farmers,
because we are so armed to the teeth.
Yeah, like
as a civilian,
every house in America has guns.
Does my apartment have guns?
Well, maybe yours does.
Already.
But the majority of us do.
We don't know that.
Yes,
we don't know.
Look at that.
Wasn't there like a collection of weapons not too long ago, a few years back?
That's small shit.
That's like little criminals.
Yeah.
I don't know, man.
Every veteran.
I would like to hope that we are.
The majority of veterans that have retired got stock loaded guns.
Listen, in World War II, when Japan was contemplating coming over here and attacking the United States, they were talked out of it because they were like, the American people are so armed to the teeth that they would get obliterated.
Okay, now let me say this, since that's a good point you're bringing up.
It would be literally.
China could bring 200 million people over here. They will get their asses wiped because everybody in America, like everybody that I know that are military veterans and stuff like that, my dad, they all have guns and big guns, and they go to the shooting range.
Yeah,
and do you really think they're going to tolerate?
Well, hold on.
They're going to gather together. They're going to gather together and be like, "What's up then? Let's put an end to all this nonsense."
What if
that's what's really going to happen?
What if
it came down to that point?
This is me coming from extremely left field. Okay, I'm not saying to agree with what I'm about to propose. Okay, this is just food for thought. Okay, again, disclaimer: I'm not saying but just hear me out. What if from here to whenever they plan to do the grid attack or EMP attack, right? Something happens the same way something happened that made the whole United States and the whole world start wearing masks, start buying, you know what I'm saying, extra supplies for sanitation, start having to get a you know what in their system.
That's just to show you the TV, the power.
Well, that goes to show you. That goes to show you that the government sneezes, and then we look for who has the tissue. Is basically what's going on, right? Now, let me say this: what if something happens from here to that point where there's a grid attack or an EMP attack, right? To where suddenly, for whatever reason, because my man, the government can make up so many reasons out of left field just to do what they want with the people. What if something happens to where, you know, they convince the people, okay, to turn in their guns?
I don't think it's gonna happen.
I hope it doesn't happen. But what if it does? But what if it does?
Gonna happen. They don't have enough manpower to go around everybody's house like they did in Hitler's time to go around doing that. And secondly, our military, our government is like this. Everybody in the military knows that one day they're gonna have to retire and become civilians again. So if you're in the military making these laws that can hinder you from living once you get out, that can hinder your family once you get out, they're not gonna want to get out the military and say, oh, I gotta deal with these laws now. Most people ain't gonna tolerate their freedom being taken from them. You know what I'm saying? There will be you think it's outrage? Like the outrage that I see is little compared to what I foresee really happening on a global scale. To the point where, yeah, okay, the EMP, let's say all that stuff happened. Then you'll start seeing, you know, final stages of the world storyline, pretty much. But at the end of the day, nuclear bombs can go off 1 trillion times, the Earth abides forever.
Yeah.
The Earth will abide forever because it's a testing ground.
Yep.
And it will just restart all over, regenerate, and then the next generation that comes, like for instance, this whole flat Earth theory, if the Earth extends to the heavens and it extends forever, right? Like life has always been. The Earth has always been and extends to the heavens, right? Like a rolled out carpet. Right. And heaven has always been. Because if God has always been, always will be, and all that, we're just coming right behind him like little, I don't want to say, can't say deities, but we're made in his image, and we're just copycats. So where we're headed is an eternal destiny. The Earth is a placing ground that's preparing us for that final stage. But I always feel like life, it could be boring, but it could be exciting at the same. There's a yin and a yang going on in this world. Of course. And I feel like if the EMP and all that stuff, I don't want to be here to rebuild. Why would I want to be here to rebuild when
nobody wants that.
There's heaven waiting for me.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, I guarantee you, most people, when they pass away and they get that bliss, that, oh my God, there's no actual death, why would you want to come back to this world? Why would you want to put yourself back in that temple, that body that gets sick, that body that has to go through problems? This world, like, I always think about how crazy Jesus Christ is, how he died for this. Like, he died for people. He died for people who murder people, like, and all kinds of, like, pedophile, like he died for, and I would not die for no pedophile. I ain't dying for no murderer. I don't even like y'all.
Right.
So I don't even, like, and for God to give them an opportunity to find the truth, because I look like this, like, once you become to have the Godhead, it's so messed up, yo. Because
of the mercy and the understanding.
Me personally, I'm not gonna pick up a gun and go kill you. Because I'd rather die. And then when I resurrect, I'm gonna have power over you. And people who murder people, they have no idea that the person they murdered, they're gonna be standing before the person they murdered. And that person that you murdered is gonna look to God and say, this is God's gonna love, this is the person who killed you. What do you have to say? Do you really think you're gonna pass through the gates after you just got done murdering people?
Of course not.
And most people, all these murderers, they don't find God. Maybe a little slim a few will find him. Right. But the majority of them, it's 2/3 of them are going to hell. Majority of them are going to hell. So all these people creating EMPs and all that, All those people are lost people, man. And they trying to bring you with them.
But me, my house and myself will serve the Lord. Again, not to preach, but that's my perspective on that matter. So I don't really care at the end of the day.
When someone says not to preach, everybody, like when someone's talking, they're preaching anyways, whether they realize it or not.
Big facts.
Like people say, "Oh, you can't judge," but people judge anyways.
Mm-hmm. And that's the other thing. It's not to judge. It's to not judge unjustly or unrightfully.
Right.
Ungodly. But yeah, you can judge if you're gonna judge through the word. But that's another topic for another day.
I like this trick or not. This Buddhist, I judge for everything. If we don't yoke together, I'm not hanging out with you.
True that.
I'm not gonna be forced to live a way. Like all this stuff about the government forcing you to live a certain way. First off, you can't control what I'm thinking.
True. But they can force us to do what they need us to do.
So not to backtrack.
Yeah, you good.
Not to backtrack, but so what I'm saying is, I don't think they're not gonna hit us with an EMP.
Now, if they all want to go back to the past.
Now, if they want to go back to the Stone Age, because I mean,
you work this hard, you go back to the past.
You gotta understand, like there are some real animals out there. It will be eat or be eaten.
And all these government agencies, they're not letting just any Joe Blow getting close to those secrets.
Yep.
You think a person who's creating nuclear weaponry, or you think they're gonna go out their way to go teach everybody that? Hell to the no.
No.
That's why even the knowledge of God is not taught to everybody because it's not for everybody.
I mean, I don't know about that.
It's but some people they don't want it.
Personally, I think they'll hit the power grid. Power grid will go out. I don't think we're going to be without cell phones. We're not going to be without communication because the government has to be able to communicate with us.
But what if, that's the thing though. See, that's the thing.
What about the free energy in the air?
If they can't get the information to us, then,
What about the energy in the air?
I don't know. I feel like they might have some type of like backup or something.
I watched a video.
How many old style radios you got in your house? FM
None that I know.
AM radios.
None that I know of.
None. And they're not gonna cut loose an EMP and destroy the world population of electronics. There's no repairing it.
There's no repairing it right away.
There's no repairing it. Period. I mean,
no, there's ways
right now we've got a chip shortage.
Right.
What are we going to repair?
Not us, but again, see that's why I say
us having to buy new TVs, new cell phones, new everything.
It's very possible.
New
cars, right?
It's not going to be us going to the shop and saying, "Hey, man, my computer board on my car is dead.
Right.
I need a new one." Well, I'm sorry. EMP took the whole stock out, and we're waiting for AMD to open back up and make some more chips.
I'm just saying it's not out of the realm of possibility.
Oh, of course.
All
things are possible.
I think an EMP is just there to scare people.
A lot of stuff is to scare people.
I mean, this is fucking sci-fi.
I look at
is there actual evidence or videos of them actually
not only that,
using one of these things?
Hollywood's full of fear factor stuff. But then
we don't know what
in your head with
we don't know what EMP is because Hollywood's been telling us what it is.
Oh, that's the other thing. Well, I mean, I might leave that for like another episode, but the whole sensationalizing, and predictive programming that all of us have gone through for years on end, whether it be technology, whether it be science fiction made reality, right? All these things, at the same time, we can come across some information and knowledge like we just did tonight, right? But because of us being like predictably programmed to think a certain way or how it might come across when it happens, we might not be fully, understanding exactly how that whole EMP thing like works. Because there's small reenactments.
You can make a full-time income.
I didn't know that. Like there's small examples of like small EMPs just to show for like what it does, like what it can do. Small range, small size, right? But that's without the fluff. That's without the whole mumbo jumbo of like sci-fi and all that. It's straight up like facts. This is what it is. This is what it does. This is what it's able to do, and these are the dangers.
I'm a firm believer that everybody picks up. So,
oh yeah.
And if it's just people spin the truth out.
Mm-hmm.
It's all goofy stuff. Everybody who's planning on doing stuff like that, yo, you're not passing through right now.
Just remember this.
Your ass in the fire.
Just remember this, and I'll end off my thought with this. They need to do something to force all of us, or most of us, into surrendering to their aid, help. That's all I'm gonna say on that.
Yeah, no, I get that, and I understand, but I don't think it's gonna be like
because
the way you're saying it,
right,
is like it's gonna be like a movie, right? But
to a certain extent,
not in the real world.
In the real world, shit don't work like the movies.
Yeah,
you know, you watch a pandemic movie.
Right.
Everybody's dropping like flies. Mm-hmm. We just went through a pandemic. It was nothing like that.
Exactly.
Nothing like that.
That's exactly right.
So, you know, they're putting out there these EMPs, like the whole world's about to shut down. That's not gonna happen, man. You know what's gonna happen? There's gonna be a food shortage. People aren't gonna be able to eat. There's going to be a bunch of other shit going on.
It already started happening, by the way.
Yeah.
For those of you who didn't know.
People are going to be hungry. People are going to lose their jobs. People are not going to have a good income. Mm-hmm. Inflation's already going through the roof. Like, all these things tagged on together. Like, an EMP is they're going to hit the power grid. They're not going to hit no EMP.
But if you hit the power grid, there's still so many ways around it.
Yeah, it's going to go down, but it's going to take weeks, if not months, to get it back up and going.
But then people still have hope.
That to me,
people still have hope, though.
I know, but that to me is more logical than an EMP just taking out electronics all over the place.
Right.
You know.
But when really has the government done anything by logic, really? Again, look back at the pandemic or the pandemic.
Well, they claim Syria's president dropped chemical bombs on them. I don't have evidence to back that up.
But anyways, I don't know. I think I will leave it there where I have left it up until thus far. I don't know if you guys have anything else to add.
It's a good scenario, but I can't live in fear about it.
I mean, it'd be a great movie, but I don't think it's gonna happen in real life.
And if it does, I hope I die with it.
You know what I mean?
I ain't trying to wake up to no nonsense, yo.
Yeah.
Who wants to wake up to nonsense?
Like I said, man, like I don't think it's gonna be. I don't think an EMP is gonna happen.
And I feel like
that would be too devastating. The government would lose control.
You have to start everything all over. Who the hell wants to start the world all over? Like the Industrial Revolution, all that stuff to get here. Yeah, it gets more sensitive as time goes by,
right? And
more fragile as time goes. So
these are things to consider.
And I'm pretty. If I was in power, I'd be protecting our infrastructures like crazy.
Right.
You know.
You would think. You would think.
But that's. I mean, you would have to. Like those.
That's what the normal human logic would tell you. But.
And I believe that those 1/3 of people. Those 1/3, not the 2/3 are going to be lost, but the 1/3, it's what keeps the world.
Well, I think we're going to lose some powers here and there.
Right.
Some people are going to be without power. Some people are going to have power. And some people are going to go hungry. Some people are going to get pissed off and riot. Some people are going to make some, bad choices like murder.
Right.
And robbing some people from what they have. But I don't think an EMP is gonna happen. I think the power grid might go down, and it's gonna take some time to get it back up and going. Because I mean, the power, like an EMP, is just too much. There's too many electronics lost.
Yep.
I don't see it. I think the government loses too much power.
And nations are scared of each other.
If they can't govern, the minds of the people. they're not gonna be able
There's
to
one
let
last
that EMP
thing.
go.
There's one last thing before we finish off officially. If you scroll back through some of the tabs that you have open up, I think at some point in one of them, it does state that you can control the range of where that EMP hits, meaning you can choose a location, okay, and you could direct it to just a certain radius. Not necessarily, you don't have to do it like, across the board necessarily.
I don't think so, man.
So that's something to consider too.
I don't think so. I think if that EMP, from what I understand, EMP gets detonated up in the sky,
Mm-hmm.
right?
Correct,
And
correct.
the range is probably about the same range as a nuclear bomb. So if you guys look up Hiroshima or wherever that bomb was in Japan, you can get your range. If they're going to drop an EMP anywhere, it's going to be by the power grid. So,
I mean, yeah, it's a possibility.
they're not gonna give up being able to control the masses. They gotta be able to have that mind control of say, hey, everything's okay, we've got this under control. It's gonna be 2 weeks for this, 2 weeks for that, and then they're gonna start telling people, hey, the county in this county got power today. They're working on this county, just like a freaking hurricane.
But what if, okay, and not to expand on this or nothing like that, but what if they say, for example, the power and the orders come from where? Washington, D.C., right? Well, technically.
Or
Right?
from the governor.
From the governor, right? Okay. Now, if that's the main source of information, right, like Jay's saying, that the government needs to be able to say, hey, this is what's going on to the people, right? What if the attack that they're planning to do is on the outskirts or the outers outside of like that range? Meaning basically any of the like southern states or the bottom half of the states, not necessarily like the whole area, but just like the bottom half of the states. And then the upper half, is fine. You know what I'm saying?
Everybody's gonna move up.
They might, but before that happens, there's still that lapse of time to where the government can relay the information to the people that haven't been affected, and vice versa to us. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, but how's the governor going to get that information out? Because there's still going to be power, there's still going to be TV, there's still going to be a news network
in another area. Yeah.
So we're still going to be able to get our news. Like they're not going to take down everybody's cell phone, TV.
Exactly. That's what I'm saying. They don't necessarily have to take all the electronics down. They can pinpoint and choose whose electronics they want to shut down.
You remember the year the hurricanes came and took out the power for 4 days?
Yeah, I remember that.
Well, remember when we were in Puerto Rico, we didn't have power for 2 weeks? I mean, it sucks to live like that. Okay?
Yeah.
And
they don't care about that. You think they care about that?
Nigga, I'm out. Get me out of here.
I don't think so, man. I think if you're surrounded by family,
right?
And you guys are just hanging out and bullshitting all day long and barbecuing, and
yeah, you're right.
Everything's cool then, and what's gonna get people is those people like who are the first responders who've got to be out,
right?
And they got to go and working
for crackle.
Yeah, working for the dollar, which
ain't gonna be worth
is
nothing.
another conversation that ain't worth nothing in those times.
That is true.
Now remember this: Russia already stated that if a big war breaks out like that, they're cutting their cables.
Interesting.
And I can imagine if they did that, drop a nuclear bomb somewhere in the world, we won't even. One thing is for sure, yo.
I don't think so.
You can control the population better with technology.
I don't think
so. All this EMP stuff, if you do that, it's gonna be harder to control people. With the internet on, they can control people, spy on you, they can stalk you. They can do. So it's kind of hard to let go of this technology. Again, life is so sensitive and fragile that it's like a chess game. The next choice you make could be your last choice. You don't even know. You know what I mean? It's messed up, but that's how it is. But this is how we go back to that. It's crazy because I would never die in this world.
Mm-hmm.
I would never. I like when I think about it, like, would you die for this world? I'm like, no, this world's not heaven. This is not.
Exactly.
It's not even near anything perfect of anything. It's crazy because I think about how we live inside God's imagination. I would hope that this is outside of God's imagination.
Right.
But God created all things, and yeah, people might say the earth is, footstool, and the spirit of Satan is loose and all that. But at the end of the day, God created all things, and if He controls all things, there's no point in having Satan have control, because let's say a Satan or a devil had control, none of us would exist, and if we did, we'd be enslaved, just like the mankind's trying to do.
So we are enslaved.
We are. We are. In a way, we are. We're in bondage with so many different. It's crazy. Like, you're born free, but yet our minds.
You're not born free.
Our minds.
Tell him, Jay. Tell him.
Mind. Think about it. Our minds think to get married.
You born free?
Your certificate is a bond on the stock market.
Like, you can get married and handcuff yourself, or you cannot.
A bond because you're in
bondage.
Your job is a bond.
Yeah.
Your lifestyle, the way you live.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, there's so many ways to get into bondage. It's crazy.
So what are your final thoughts, Kiko, on the EMP?
Final
Your final thoughts.
Dude, to be honest with you, that shit is dumb. Whoever created it, you're dumb. You better pray to God it doesn't happen in my lifetime. Because, I'm telling you, man.
Well, that's an idea. That's something to go off of. Why do you think someone created it?
Right.
All I know is that
to me, I think it's because the world saw the nuclear bomb and what it did and what it can do to people.
maybe they can shoot
And they were like, you know what, man? The amount of human lives that they lost when we dropped that thing wasn't worth it. And they're like, well, this is the next best thing. Just kill the power.
Let them suffer for a few.
Let me tell you something.
Anyway, what's your last thought?
My thing is this: that whoever's in government or power, whatever, and have that type of power and technology, you better pray to God it doesn't happen. Because if it does happen in my generation, your ass is going. And I don't care. I don't care about you have family. Because I don't go around again.
Right.
Do you go around pedophile, murdering, and plotting? And I don't do none of that stuff.
Right.
And none of us do. The majority of us don't go around plotting to kill innocent people.
Yeah.
So you don't get no free pass from it. Okay? So in my mind, I'd rather get killed than kill somebody.
Right.
Because again, when I resurrect, I'm throwing your ass in the lake of fire. With no remorse behind it. You're not gonna be like, oh, sorry, I didn't mean it, I didn't know. I don't care about that, none of that shit. I didn't walk around the earth plotting and killing and doing all kinds of weird shit.
Exactly.
I recognize that I have been given life. I recognize that I've been given life, and that life is precious. And you know what? I'm just like God, nigga. Like, God is willing to throw people in fire, nigga. You understand that?
No.
He's willing to protect his kingdom with fervent fire.
True.
And it's not a joke to me. Because I look at the burning sun every day and I say to myself, yeah, I'm going to calm myself down. You know what I'm saying? I can lose my mind over something. Over a female. Over being hungry. Oh, yeah, that can happen.
Mm-hmm.
You know? But I'm not going to go out of my way to go rob my next door neighbor.
Yep. To
scam the next person next. I'm not.
I'd rather die.
I'd rather get up and go to work, man. Or educate my mind with learning how to fix a car, whatever, to make money.
Mm-hmm.
All this, I'm going to go rob somebody, hit a lick. Nigga, you weak as hell. And you're a bitch ass nigga for that shit too. And you're gonna get thrown into the lake of fire for that fuckery. And that's just the way it is, nigga. Niggas think this shit's a game. Nigga, religion's not a game to me, nigga. Politics ain't no game to me. You know, like, none of this shit is a joke to me. None of it.
No.
Oh, your 2 cents? Well,
Yeah.
you don't want to let me put mine in, and you can.
Yeah. Go ahead.
You can wrap it up. I think the whole EMP thing is bullshit. Just being honest. I think it's bullshit. I think they'll hit the electrical grid. We're going to go down for power. We're going to be down for weeks. People are going to get mad. They're going to be hungry.
And then they're gonna be exiting.
They're going to be screaming at the government, why aren't you doing nothing?
They're
And
gonna
they're going
move
to
to
turn around.
Wisconsin.
They're gonna
They
turn
never thought
around.
about moving to Wisconsin. Now we moving to Wisconsin.
Well, that's what I'm saying. The government's going to turn around and give them a solution. If they drop an EMP on the United States and it kills all the electronics, it'll be pure anarchy. You know, America would have fallen. But
Yeah, people turn against each other.
yeah, I think
Oh, you have to have guns for it.
they hit the electrical grids, and that's it. And then power comes back up in either a couple weeks or a couple months.
And in those times, people are going to try to ransack people's houses.
Yeah.
I think. Wait, are you done?
And that's my 2 cents, and I'm sticking to it.
Got you. I respect that.
I don't.
And I would like to agree on most of that. I would say, yeah, there is going to be some type of like electrical grid attack of some sort, to where it's going to force the majority of people to pretty much kind of like seek help from the government itself, right? But I will say that it's never too much to prepare for unprecedented circumstances. So, for example, while I agree with what you said, and it makes the most logical sense, you know, if I'm thinking in a humane way, that makes the most logical sense. However, it's always good to be prepared for outside the box circumstances. So what do I mean by that? What I mean is, yeah, that could happen that way, but just in case things go like extremely sideways and go the other way, why not have a little bit of preparation for it, just in case?
Oh no,
I don't want to be here after that shit
I'm
happens.
100% in agreement that people should have food stored away for 6 to 12 months.
There you go.
That's too full. And I do this always. When the food is getting ready to expire or before it expire, you donate it.
There you go.
You know, you give it to those who need it.
Yep.
And then whenever a crisis occurs, you have that food there for yourself. You know, so it's a win-win for everybody. If nothing happens, you know, people who are struggling, who need food, they're gonna get fed. You know, so I'm a firm believer in, you know,
Preparing for the
six
skinny
to
cows.
12 months. I think what's coming down the pipeline is going to squeeze the American people so tightly that we are going to run to the government and say, do whatever you want, just make this shit stop. I don't think it's an EMP though.
Along with that, and to wrap things up, we are going to provide some links that might help any one of you guys watching the stream right now with, you know, preparation's sake, whether it be food, water, or anything else that you might need in such circumstances. That being said, this was a powerful conversation. It ended very dramatic and emotional, and I love it. But yeah, if you're watching this right now or afterwards, doesn't matter. Hit that like button. If you haven't done it already, the hell's you thinking, man? Hit that like button. Subscribe to the channel. All right. Extend your hands to the social media platforms. Okay, it's around me if I'm not mistaken at this point. If not, just look at the frame. And yeah, that being said, y'all stay blessed. Y'all stay safe. And until the next time, Visioneyeview for life. All right. Peace out. God bless. Peace.